When I was a kid, I had one ultimate fear, and it wasn't the zombie nightmares I would have. It wasn't being rejected by the pretty girl at school. It wasn't about failing my math test. It wasn't about my parents being mad at me. None of that. My fear was being out of control. So as a kid who couldn't control anything in his life, I went looking for something that I could be the master of, that I could have control over. And that's when I discovered basketball. You see, unlike everything else that I had found in my life up to that point at about 6th grade, basketball was the only thing that gave me a consistent ROI, a consistent return on my investment, because no matter how much time I invested into people, there was no guarantee that I would get friendship, love, affection, or even a favor back from that relationship. No matter how hard I worked at my stupid dishwashing jobs, I knew I would never be rewarded the way I wanted to be rewarded. So I became obsessed. Every day, every hour, every minute, I had my basketball with me. And with every bit of practice that I put into it, my dribble would get a little more snappy. With every shot I shot at the gym, I would hear that swish noise a little more, and it made me feel powerful, and it built momentum, and it built what I can only describe as an alter ego inside of me, where I was feverishly obsessed and monstrous when I started playing with my basketball. I never loved the game of basketball, but I loved the feeling of control that I had when I stepped on the court. Then, very luckily, my senior year of high school, I shredded my ankle on a fast break right before my senior season, and my obsession with basketball was cut. It was severed, and I had to go find another life, and thank God I did. I was able to start a business. I was able to travel the world. I started living out of my car. I had fun, and I was broken from this curse of basketball, this curse and obsession that I had with being the best. But it wasn't all bad. See, basketball taught me some very important lessons. It taught me how to be ferocious. And as time's gone on and life has gotten easier, I've made money, I've made cool YouTube videos, I've made friends, I've had a pretty happy life, an easy existence. I've gotten a little bit out of touch with that beast that used to be the thing that made me. This weekend is all about reconnecting with that. I'm back at my old high school, Clark Fork Junior Senior High. Whole school when I was here was only about 96 kids. Pretty amazing to come back and see all the improvements they've done with it. Come inside, let's look. Up and down these halls I used to wander, home of the Wampus Cat. And coming back into this high school again right now, I gotta say, it is still one of just the most beautiful little high schools I have ever seen. Our mascot was the Wampus Cat, an ancient Native American myth and legend about a mountain lion with a bald, spiked tail. And look at this, this is all new. So this is the gym here where I'm gonna be playing the alumni tournament this year for basketball, but this whole mural on the side is all new. How beautiful is that? Just beautiful. I wouldn't normally be here during this time of year. It's March, it's snowing in northern Idaho right now. And for my lifestyle, I like to be in the warm. I came back for this tournament, reacquaint myself with the sport that made me. And tonight's the first scrimmage that I've played in a very long time. Let's get it started and see how we do. teams right now. It's first game done, and I am shocked at how out of shape I am in basketball. I just jogged 2 miles the other night, felt good, could have probably gone for 3 or 4, no problem. But after those 2 miles, coming back and doing basketball, back and forth, it hurts. It's really hard to keep up, because this is when you see how tough you are. Here we are at the local filling station. It's kind of like the kids' community center of Clark Fork for the last night of practice before the official basketball tournament starts tomorrow. My body has not felt this sore and this broken in a very long time. But going to play basketball today, and we're gonna work on the last couple things we need to work on before starting the tournament. Here we go. This is the second day of practice. We're inside playing at the filling station here. It's still exhausting to come back and learn how to play basketball again, but I feel tremendously better second day back, which means I should be ready for the tournament. Today is tournament day, but we wake up this morning and look what we got going on outside. This is just a winter snowstorm happening out here. Oh my gosh. So that might make it a little tricky to get to the gym and give you a little tour around Clark Fork, Idaho, but we take it as it comes. So let's just see what happens. It's starting. Here we go. This first game was against the I would call it the team that was kind of put together with whoever they had left at the end of the day. Jordan, the woman that just tried to block me when I threw up that air ball for my first shot of the tournament. Great shot, Jake. Was the one that put this team together. She is awesome. That's Pat Young making a three. Kind of one of my mentors of basketball. This was just one of the fun games. This kid dribbling the ball is named Sam, and I'm guarding him right now. He was their best player. But we ended up beating this team something like 107-58. We had a lot of fun. We had some really good players on our team that loved to shoot the ball, so it took a lot of pressure off of me. I didn't have to shoot it very much, but it was very, very fun to come back and play this game. I'll let you see a few more of the highlights, and then we'll get into the next couple games that got much more competitive.
Okay. This is us finishing up the first game. Here we go. Score right up here. 107-58. And that's it. Oh, good try. Feels good to be back. We got another one tomorrow morning. Here we go. This is day 2 of the alumni tournament. This is the volleyball section of the day. It's about 11 o'clock in the morning right now. We don't play till 7:30 tonight. We won our first game, so we'll see how the next game goes. If we win 2 games in a row, we play in the championship. Now we're just hanging out, playing some volleyball. Pretty cool. Here we go. Pat Young putting our team together. We owe tonight to him. So tonight's second game should be much more competitive. Playing against a few really good athletes tonight. And we're missing one of our players as well, so we'll just see how we can do our best we can. 2 minutes, 35 seconds left. Here we go, game time. This basketball game was
the game of the tournament for sure. It was the most competitive game. Our opponents played very, very well, and honestly, if we had won this game, we probably would have went on to win the tournament. There's Mia getting fouled on a drive to the basket. But this game, as you're about to see in just a minute, started off really strong. We had a few great plays. Like I had this beautiful little floater. It's my favorite shot in basketball. And I ended up starting us off very strong. I felt back in the zone in basketball. I started commanding the team, and I threw this great alley-oop to the guy Connor, one of the great guys on our team, super athletic. But right after that, something interesting happened. See, this team put a full court press on us, and the momentum of the game shifted. Like you can see me open right there, and I didn't get the ball on that pass, and that started happening more and more. Not that I should have gotten the ball on every single game, but it's amazing to look at the mental game of basketball and start looking back at the footage and seeing all the little mistakes that were made. So look, I'm bringing the ball up right now, and you can see how much this team is pressuring us when we're coming up. So they double team me. I try to create some space. They double me, corner me. I pass to Pat in the corner. Pat drives down the baseline, and even though they hit the ball out of bounds this time, things got very slow in this game, and very quickly that started turning to panic. So you can see when one of the guys tries to bring the ball up right here, the easiest interception and points for the other team that you could possibly imagine. And this happened more and more. We had a 17-point lead at halftime. I think we had like 7 minutes left at one point, and we were up like 17 points, and they ended up coming back and beating us by 2 points. And it was because of this. They just started getting a ton of little tiny turnovers like this with people that, like, you get like the mental panic that starts to happen in basketball. And this is why I love these sports so much, is because it teaches you how to be okay dealing with pressure. And there's another steal. So it ended up being a sad game. I played really well this time. I played somewhere between 15 and 19 points. I had just under 10 assists. It was hard to keep track of everything because they don't keep stats for you. I had 2 steals and somewhere between like 2 and 4 rebounds, but I usually don't take care of that. It was a good game. So for our final game, Game 3, I got to play against a few of really my basketball heroes. The Stephen Barato, a guy that played college basketball out of one of our towns. Steelman Berkeley, a guy that was kind of a coach to me. There's me throwing a little assist down low. Really hard to get all the footage of this game because my camera died halfway through and it was getting really hot in the gym, so the camera was overheating. But basically, it was a really fun game. We ended up losing this one as well, and it was just so good to go back and see the community either way. I think performance for me, it was like 18 points this game, but it was mostly in the first half, and I was just too tired to keep it up. Basketball demands so much of you. And that did it for our tournament, so I'll let Past Jake sign you out.
I'm gone. Here we are. We're headed out of Hope, Idaho right now. That was a really good alumni tournament. I'll tell you what, it's been a long time since COVID and everything happened that I've been able to come back and play with everyone. We had a few really good games. We lost our last 2. I just got really tired in the last one, but played amazing. We went through it. I just had a great time for the alumni tournament. But here's something that I've learned from community. When you come back, it's really fun to come back and see it, and it's such an important thing. Go back, support the small towns, support the local businesses, see the people you grew up with, because everyone's trying to get there, do their thing, do all that stuff. But there is a certain amount of toxicity that is created in a small town environment when everyone starts thinking the same way and everyone grows up the same way. It's really good because everyone wants to take care of each other, but on the same side, it's really hard to break out of that and create something different from what everyone else had growing up around you if you're surrounded by the same people all the time. Every time I come home, it's funny, like my grandma will always tell me, Jakey, you should be a teacher, a basketball coach, stay here, don't leave yet, all that sort of stuff. And it can be tempting sometimes to want to do that because it's easier, but there's every bit of temptation that I've ever had towards that has been refuted with like this bubbling, anxious feeling inside of me where I have to go, I have to
do something. So that's why I really like this lifestyle, and that's why I'm really excited to be able to bring you more videos on the road after this one. Is going home is great, having an apartment's great, having a home base is great, but you know what's better? Being able to accomplish a purpose, being able to go out and make a difference you want to see in the world, being able to not settle for the things that everyone around you settled for growing up. That is important stuff, and that is where I'm headed right now. I'll catch you in the next one. It's been a pleasure for this alumni tournament. Thank you so much for joining me. Stay wild, be free. Now it's off to Utah with me. Peace.